Hello everyone, my name is Christian. Welcome back to TechPoint. Today our guest is Frank, the founder at Maxiality. Hello.
Thanks for having me, Christian.
Great to have you on the podcast. At first, please tell us what your company does.
Yes, I'm the founder of Maxiality, and we help B2B SaaS companies become an authority in their industry.
How do you define authority in the industry? Is it a personal branding?
It's a combination, basically. But what we always do is we make sure that the founder or the founders, but most of the time is one person, they show their expertise, and when they show their expertise, a lot of times in different channels, they will become the authority in the industry, and that will help the brand as well. And this is really a change in the last couple of years in B2B marketing, actually, because you can spend a lot of money, but there's been lots of changes lately, specifically with the whole demand generation and demand capture movement that is going on. And this really helps to stand out in the market. And in the end, it will draw customers towards you.
Absolutely. Social selling is growing, and so is personal branding. We love it. So tell us, how exactly does it work? How do you help founders? What is the process?
So the process is that we think of the content pillars, first of all, that you want to be an authority about. And based on that, we'll create a list of questions. And with these questions, we'll have a strategy mapped out for a couple of months. And we'll do a 1-hour interview each month in a journalistic way. And for this 1-hour interview, we'll create content for a month. There will be blogs, videos for YouTube, social posts, and also a newsletter content. And we'll build on their website, we'll build a sales material with all the videos. And after a month of releasing those videos, we'll check the best performing videos, and we'll use that in LinkedIn campaigns. And if we do that every month, we will warm up the audience, and with 2 ways, not only organic, but also paid. And people can't really, you will be everywhere if you do this process, basically. And that's what we've been doing for more than a year now, this process.
I totally agree, and I think it's amazing. So both paid and organic, and it's easier for the founder to create content when there's questions. It's not like he can talk from his head. With the questions is really easy. So I believe in that 1-hour process interview. I love it.
Thanks. And the main problem is actually, Christian, that founders always are so busy with running their company, hiring people, creating the product.
Yep.
And sometimes they have marketing people as well, right? And salespeople. So it depends on what phase you are with your B2B SaaS company. But that's always a challenge. So but the way that we look at it is, most of the knowledge is with the founders, right? So what if you can capture that knowledge? And it's really easy to, it's easy. It depends, of course, but it's just 1 hour, and that's always doable for any founder. 1 hour a month, and then if you use that content, it will definitely resonate with the audience. So yeah, that process definitely works.
I love that process. We wrote a book called King of Networking and shared it across all the SaaS industry, and people call us King of Networking, but still there's a lot to learn, and I love this process. It's really smart.
Good stuff.
Tell us, what types of founders do you usually help or target? Is it only B2B SaaS?
Yeah, we only work for B2B SaaS, and that's basically because, my background is B2B SaaS. I used to have a SaaS company. I sold it a few years back. And I love tech, I love marketing. So, the combination, and B2B, to be honest. Because the thing about B2B is that it's always different. There's no silver bullet. Every audience is different. Every ICP is different. Every company is different as well in their stage. So I like the challenges, basically, surrounding that. And the last part is that with software like SaaS is, you can't put it in a box, right? You can't ship it. It's not tangible, and I like to make these things tangible. And one of the ways to do that is show the human side of it, which not a lot of companies do, actually. And even in the past, if you look at Cisco, HP, or Dell, whatever, it was just shipping boxes. They don't even sell software back then. And it was really about the features and about all these great boxes with lights and stuff, and one bigger or better than the other. And if you compare it with, so that's all B2B marketing, right? And if we talk about SaaS marketing, B2B SaaS marketing, it's more or less the same, because if you put 10 of these websites next to each other, still half of them are probably still working in the old playbooks with lots of features, with lots of PDF downloads, gated stuff, and you know the drill, right?
Absolutely. Hey there, fellow entrepreneurs and B2B marketers. Before we dive back into the conversation, let me introduce you to a game changer in the lead generation arena. lead feeder. Now, we all know the struggle of identifying those elusive website visitors and turning them into valuable leads. But what if I told you there's a tool that not only promises but delivers on supercharging your lead generation and sales efforts? Enter lead feeder. Imagine having the power to identify companies visiting your website, track their behavior in real time, and seamlessly integrate it with your CRM. Lead feeder is not just a tool, it's your secret weapon for efficient and targeted lead engagement. Now, how is lead feeder different? It's the ability to provide detailed insights into visitor behavior, helping your sales team prioritize efforts and close deals faster. With customizable notification, lead scoring, and GDPR compliance, lead feeder is changing the game. Are you ready to revolutionize your approach to leads and deals? Head over to leadfeeder.com for your free demo today. That's leadfeeder.com. Don't miss out on the future of successful lead generation with lead feeder. Thank you so much, lead feeder, for sponsoring this episode. But now let's get back to it. Usually, what's the size of the companies? Do you have a certain type, like bootstrapped or Series A, or it can be anyone?
Well, we work with Series A companies. Where we work with funded companies by informals. So that's basically the range, from 10 to 100 people, more or less. But I think one of the most important things is that there should be some sort of product market fit. There should be some proven process, because it's really hard to find that fit and scale this. By the way, I would advise to do this anyway, even if you don't have any fit. Just make sure that you're out there. Make sure that you show your journey. I would always advise that, because it helps. It will also help attract investors. But I mean, it's always a balance, right? I've seen this process work as well to find investors. So it really depends on the journey. For us, this is the ideal client profile that works well for us.
Yeah. Basically, the founder's job is to sell something that he believes in and others don't. So you cannot help him with that. He needs to prove that it's working so you can help. So I totally get that. It's a good mindset. Maybe you can dive deeper into your story. Let's say how you started your career after high school, college, whatever.
Well, then we'll probably be sitting here for a long time, but I'll make it short and brief. I founded 3 companies. One of them was an agency. That's what I did in the past. And the last company I founded was a SaaS company focusing on the Benelux area. And what we did was B2B marketing software. And we made sure that there was marketing automation in the software and also IP to company recognition. And I did that for 5 years and then sold the company because I wanted to do something else. And I learned a lot from that. I did marketing and product. I wore a lot of hats, like so many SaaS founders do, still do, depending, even with Series B and C, they will still have many hats on. But I know the challenges that go with SaaS. We also raised money with informals. These are always interesting times before you raise it and even after you raise, because then you have to spend the money wisely, right? So it's I love SaaS. Yeah.
How big was the team when you sold the company?
We were with about 8 people. And some freelancers. Yeah.
And did you know exactly what you wanted to do next? This agency, Maxiality? Or
No, because I know quite a lot of people, and some people called me. So you know a little bit about the marketing and sales and SaaS, right? And so I've got some venture capital friends and people who want to invest. And then they basically called me and asked if they could help them with the investments that they made. And that's how the ball started rolling. Because I've always got ideas inside my head, but at that point I didn't know what to do. And then I got some calls and I was like, well, okay, why not help some people in the journey that I also had? And I think just about 1.5 years ago, we actually made a process out of this and an agency as well, because I love to work with playbooks. Just make sure that you document everything that works. So test a lot of stuff. And when you know that it works, make sure that you document it and create a playbook. And we used to do that for SEO, for example. I do still believe in SEO, but now with dark social and stuff like that, and with the whole demand generation movement, I think we all should focus way more on where the actual ICP is. And for B2B, it is on LinkedIn in the end. And when there is demand, they will definitely go to Google or any other channel. But I think it starts with that. And that's why we created the authority marketing playbook, by just creating content from the founder about the problems that your ICP basically is facing. And if you do that a long time enough and amplify it as well with ads, you will become an authority.
Perfectly said. I love it. But did you start the agency to help founders with investors, and then realize that you can help them with ICP, or did I understand wrong?
No, so the investors asked if I could help them because they put money
Okay,
inside the companies, right? So and they
okay,
wanted
okay,
to have
okay.
a return on their investment. So
Right.
they said,
Okay.
"Well, why not ask Frank?" So I'm like, "Well, okay, I can help them, I guess." So and then I did a lot of different things with all these different SaaS companies, and at some point. I thought, well, okay, let's make some serious playbooks and use the ones that are working. And actually, it was just in the period that things started switching. Because with my own SaaS company, most leads came from inbound, meaning that we did a lot of SEO stuff and guest blogging. That was our main. Of course, we did some paid as well, but that was our main source. This still can work, and I know lots of companies that are still doing that very well, but it always depends on the stage you're in, and of course, how your annual contract value. It really depends on a lot of factors. So I'm at some point, since we're now switching more to the dark social, the dark funnel, of course, I think you have to find another way and not only rely on Google traffic. And not only that, I mean, when I started my SaaS, it was about 7 years ago. The only channel you had basically was Google. Of course, there was LinkedIn, but it was a small percentage.
Yeah.
Now we have so many choices. I mean, we can go to YouTube, right? We can go to a Discord where we will be together to talk about marketing. We can go to a Facebook group. There's so many other options. Even TikTok is coming up as a B2B channel as well. So all these channels, they didn't even exist 7 years ago. And that's why I wanted to have a playbook that will work for modern B2B SaaS marketing. And the results that I'm seeing, they show that this works right now. Yeah.
This is amazing. And what channels does the playbook include?
Well, main channel is always LinkedIn. Always.
Do you also go on podcasts with the founders?
That's an interesting one. There are different phases still. I mean, with our Authority Accelerator program, we always focus on LinkedIn, a little bit on the website as well, because we create content for it as well. So a little bit of SEO. And the other channel will be YouTube as well. And Google Video, which is still SEO, right? Because it will show up in the search engine result pages. So these will be the three main channels to use. But what we always advise, and we always do as well, depending, of course, on what phase you're in, is use webinars as well. And if you use those webinars and put that in the feedback loop as well, you got so much content that you can distribute on so many different channels. That will work amazingly. And I think I also mentioned newsletters, right?
Yeah.
I think you should give some really interesting information. And if you do that this way, you will grow your audience on that platform as well, your newsletter audience, I mean, yeah.
Absolutely. What was your biggest challenge since starting Maxiality?
I think the biggest challenge is that I think we started just in this whole interesting period of the switch from having only one channel, basically Google, and of course some other channels, because we also did Facebook ads, for example, and even some YouTube ads, to now so many more channels and the dark social and the dark funnel. So that has been a challenge to really get a playbook that works. I think the numbers show that we solved that one. So next up is definitely scaling this process, which is also a challenge, of course, but so far so good.
That was my next question about the team. About the vision for the future of the company, but I'm curious about the team. How many people?
So Esther and I work together. She's a veteran as well in the SaaS space. So we do this together with a couple of freelancers. That's how we do it right now. Yeah.
Okay. What should founders know before starting to build their authority in the B2B SaaS space?
Founders should know about what they want to create their authority about. So basically, what is their one specific thing that they want people to remember? So if you're selling privacy-friendly analytics, what is your point of view about that? If you're selling a content marketing platform, what exactly is your point of view about content marketing and the trends on content marketing? What is something that you completely disagree with in the industry? And this is basically developing your point of view. And it really helps if you stand out, because the thing is that so many marketeers will create how-to content or any content that's easily findable in Google or used with ChatGPT or any other large language model. So please don't make that mistake. Make sure you create your own unique point of view on everything that you put forward. And it can also, it is not only your point of view, but it's also, do you have any data? If you have a couple of clients, there's always data. and you can use that data to incorporate in anything, any message that you send out, any content. So I think that's basically the start of it.
Yeah, I agree. And also, it needs to be some controversy or something different. Otherwise, you get lost in the noise if you just post basic stuff, right?
Yep, true.
Okay. Um, why is it important, or how should founders start doing it even before they come to you, come to an expert? Let's say when they're just starting out. Should they talk about the problem they're solving? Should they?
Yeah, there are a couple of ways to do that. I think Gary Vaynerchuk just says, just put everything out there, everything that you do. That can work, but you need to run a company as well, right? So, and we don't have a team of people around us who can film or whatever, do that for us. But at the end of the day, it's putting out, it's just releasing content, and that should be part of what you're doing. And at the start, I think the bare minimum would be to post 2 times a week on LinkedIn, to create 1 article a month, and you can always do that yourself, of course. That's the bare minimum, and make sure that you just engage with people 5 times in a week to leave some comments. And yeah, that's work. But I mean, if you look at how much you would have spent to create that reach by using LinkedIn ads or any other way, it will definitely be valuable to do it that way. So that's the bootstrap way of doing this.
Right. How close do you work with the founders? Do you also help them post it, edit it, and post it for themselves, or do you just help with the strategy?
Yeah. Well, basically, we take care of everything, and that's the best way that we like to work with someone. Sometimes they want to post it themselves, which is fine, but we basically do everything for them. Yeah, we do the analysis as well, not even posting, but analyzing everything, and creating the LinkedIn campaigns as well, and doing the management of that. Yeah, it's completely hands off. I used to do strategy calls as well in the past. I mean, this is just one way of doing marketing. I think it's one of the most important ways to do B2B SaaS marketing. But I mean, you could also, create a complete strategy on any other channel, right? Or do experiments, or just check the onboarding. I mean, I've done that in the past. I sometimes still do that. But that's an option that basically is not really part of what we do day to day normally. But so yeah, it's completely hands off. Yeah.
Good. You work in B2B SaaS. Do you have some favorite software that you would recommend to other people?
Well, you should check my credit card statements. It's insane how much money I spend on the SaaS. You probably do that as well, right?
Yeah, I guess I saw a study that the average SaaS companies buys 17 SaaS products each month.
So wow, that probably, that could be true. Still a lot. Yeah. But how many do stick, right? That's always a challenge. Yeah. No. So to answer your question, what's my favorite piece of software? I mean, we're recording now in Riverside, right? So that's my number one go-to tool whenever I record anything like this. I just absolutely love it. But I mean, I also use Ahrefs. I use so many other tools as well. And even free tools like Google Search Console really help. I do my research on Reddit or Quora. It's really great that you don't even have to pay for them, right? There's so many great ways to get the research, the interview questions. I mean, Zapier shouldn't really. You really need something like that. The whole Google suite, I love it still. We could talk tools for an hour, I think.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
What would be your best piece of advice for a starting B2B SaaS founder?
Yeah, starting is always interesting, right? Because I really hope that you found a product, you found a use case actually that solves a really a nagging pain point. That's one. So, I mean, even if it's your own pain that you're trying to solve, which is great, but I really hope that there are many more people who have this pain point. So, and that way you'll create product market fit sooner than later. So that's the number one thing that you need to be aware of. And how do you create that product market fit? It's just, please talk to a lot of people. Please talk to your ICP. Please interview them. Give them something back in return. I don't know what, but I mean, and even if you have product market fit, which is, I mean, you know when it's there, because things will really finally start rolling. Still talk to your clients, because you will have competitors that will change the market. Your clients will have different demands as well, because they are growing, whatever. So, I mean, I really think that this is something that is underrated. Just as a founder, please talk more to your possible clients and your clients.
I love this. Yeah, it's the number one thing.
And to be honest, Christian, it's the first thing that we always do as well with our onboarding process. because we can do a lot of research. We can talk to people that are inside the company. But at the end of the day, I want to hear from at least 2 clients how they are working with the software and why did they buy it and what channels did they use to find it. And it's just a 30-minute conversation. We record it. We'll create a case as well from that. And it's great to have that as well in the marketing. And we can create so much better content with that information.
I love that. Do you see yourself starting a new B2B SaaS company in the future? Maybe
well,
when
don't tell anyone, but I might have created something. So we do a lot of LinkedIn stuff, right? I have created a software that just makes sure that you have the engagement scores of anyone on LinkedIn and do a lot of averages and compare it to well-performing other people who post. Anyway, it's I think I can talk a lot about it, but to answer your question, I love SaaS, but right now I'm not going to start another SaaS, but maybe this can be a product. We use it for all our clients, to be honest, and we use it in the research phase when we do our sales as well. So maybe, who knows? I'll let you know.
Thank you. What's the biggest problem that you see SaaS founders face from the people that you work with?
Yeah, so I think the biggest problem is always that you have so many things to do, right? And what is the right choice to make? And that's a real challenge because some people will have read a blog and they'll say you have to do this, and then even if you're funded, then someone at the who funded you will say this would be a great thing. And there's so many things that are just you have to consume and think about. That's one, and you never know what the lens is that someone has that gives this information to you. For example, in the past, there would be a lot of advice that would work in B2C SaaS, for example, or a lifetime value of, I don't know, a lot less than high ticket SaaS. So these playbooks are different because anyone could say, yeah, just Instagram and Facebook, whatever. But I mean, it wouldn't work for high ticket SaaS. So that's one of the challenges I think that founders have to how can they scale? That's basically one of the main questions. And there are so many sub questions related to that.
I love it. I guess those are my main questions. If you have something else to share of value to founders before we close down, we can or promote your own services.
Sounds good. Well, if you want to know more about authority marketing, I've got a free training on my website, Maxiality.com. It's a video training. You can watch a couple of videos and that will help you to create authority by yourself.
Thank you so much, Frank. I really believe in what you do. I love authority building and social selling, and I see it more important than ever right now.
Thank you so much for having me, Christian. Really great to talk to you.
Founders should come to you. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.